Brand new Predaplant cards, Underworld Circle, and a brand new Infernity card, and more Overrush goodness. You guys smash the link crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more us taking a stroll through the botanical garden. So we're going to be starting off here with a brand new Starving Venom Wing Dragon, and I didn't expect to see a fusion of Starving Venom and Clearwing, but I guess this does make sense in terms of lore at beginning this. Now, each time a monster is special summoned to your opponent's field, place a predator counter on each of them, and if you do, any of those monsters at a level 2 or higher become level 1. As long as they have the Predator counter. That's on a 3325, and that's the pendulum effect. Now, it is a fusion monster, plus a Clearwing monster to make this. I mean, you're going to have the access to the Clearwing. Once turn, if your opponent summons a monster's face up, you can target one of them until the end of this turn. This card gains attack equal to that monster's. Also negate that monster's effects. Sure. Once per turn, when another card on the field activates its effect, quick effect, and destroy one card on the field. That's actually not bad. And if this card in the monster zone is destroyed, you can place it into the pendulum zone. So it does allow itself to kick back into a pendulum safely, which is pretty good. Now, we also do have the Predaplant Lilizard. I love that name so much. This is a dark plant with 1200 attack, 1200 defense. Now, you can only use the first, second, and third effects of this card's name once per turn. So if we control a Predaplant or a Starving Venom monster, we can special summon this card from the hand, and then you can add a polymerization from your deck to your hand. Free value. We can target one face-up monster on the field. Its attribute becomes dark until the end of this turn. And if this card is, or if the special summon card is sent to the graveyard, you can draw a card. This card originally appeared in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc V anime. That's actually kind of cool. So we are getting another card from the anime, but I mean, there's a lot here for this. I do actually like this card. I mean, a free special that adds poly, like, who's going to hate on that? Oh, the Predaplant Longinephila. This card is actually probably one of the best support cards we got today. So it is a Dark Plant Tuner. The first of its kind, actually. You can only use the first and second effects of this card's name once per turn. So if this card is normal or special summon, you can add a Predapt card from your deck to your hand, except for Longinephila. And then we banish this card from the graveyard, then activate one of these effects. We can place a Predator counter on one face-up monster on the field, and if it is a level 2 or higher, it becomes level 1 as long as it has a Predator counter. Or we can set a polymerization from your graveyard or banishment. Now, this card is named after the carnivorous plant and the orb weaver spider. So it's really cool that they basically combined these two cards together to actually give us access to some good stuff. And then we have the Predaplant Baalthea. This is basically a play on Beelzebub and the Hoverfly, which is kind of funny. It's a 1900 with 1000 defense, and it is a Synchro Tuner. The fact that we still are getting another tuner here. So you can only use the first and second effects of this card's name once per turn. So this card is Synchro Summon. We can special summon a Predaplant or a Starving Venom from your face-up extra deck or graveyard. This literally being able to call back pretty much anything is super strong. And then if a monster is special summoned to your opponent's field, you can banish this card in a polymerization from your graveyard to fusion summon a fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as material. It's actually pretty solid. And then we got, oh man, this is probably one of the coolest cards that we got. First of all, this close-up of Starving Venom is peak. This is Primitive. Is a normal spell card. You can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. So you send a Predapt card from your deck to the graveyard, except for a Primitive, to add a polymerization spell or a fusion spell from your deck to your hand. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of this turn after this card resolves, except for plant or dragon monsters. I mean, it has to send the Predapt card, which is like the biggest downside to this, but I literally cannot think of a better support card than this. Like, this card is amazing. And if a monster is a special summon to your opponent's field, we can banish this card from the graveyard to target one fusion monster you control and then destroy it. So this actually has the built-in destruction clause that you kind of wanted to see. And then we also have Apex Fusion. This is kind of interesting. So you can activate one card with this card's name per turn, and neither player can activate cards or effects in response to this card's activation. Pay 2,000 life points. Target one effect monster on the field. Special summon a monster from your extra deck with the same type and attribute, but a different level. Its effects are negated, and then apply one of these effects. Fusion summon a fusion monster from your extra deck, but using both of those monsters, or send the summon monster to the graveyard. This is how I cheat out the Clear Wing Dragon, because it's just about something from the extra deck of the same type and attribute. Yeah, we are getting places here, which is really, really cool. Like I said, Apex Fusion's really, really solid. Now, there are a couple of other little interesting cards here. We finally got the Underworld Circle. We are getting this really, really cool art for I think the Pendulum God, and then, of course, we're getting a new Infernity monster, which we have waited so long on some of this. So, Underworld Circle. It has been so long. So you only activate one card with this card's name per duel. Activate this card if there are 5 or more monsters in each graveyard. Destroy as many monsters on the field as possible, and then each player banishes all monsters from their deck face down. Then you can special summon a normal monster from your graveyard. Once during the standby phase, each player can special summon a monster from their graveyard, ignoring its summoning condition, but banish it when it leaves the field. I'm glad to see they very much kept the flavor intact for this. Like, this is really cool. And then we have the Master Spirit Tech Force Pendulum Ruler. This is a level 12 Light Machine Fusion Pendulum monster, 3,500 attack, 3,000 with Pendulum Scale 1. So you can only use the Pendulum effect this card's name once per turn. So during your main phase, you return this card to the extra deck to add a level 7 Pendulum monster from your deck or face-up extra deck to the hand. It's also going to be a level 7 or higher Pendulum monster plus a Pendulum monster to make it. Now, you can only use the third effect of this card's name once per turn, and this cannot be destroyed by card effects. Your opponent's monsters cannot attack, except for Pendulum monsters with a level. When you contribute a monster, target one monster the opponent controls is destroyed, and if you do inflict 1,600 damage to your opponent once per turn, you can place this card in your Pendulum zone. I mean, okay. This seems pretty good. I'm kind of about that. We also have the Gatling Ogre. So this is a level 3 Fire Fiend with 800 attack, 800 defense. You can only use the first effect of this card's name 3 times per turn. Send any number of set cards from your spawn trap cards on the graveyard to inflict 800 damage to your opponent for each. Also, your opponent takes no damage from non-fiend monster effects for the rest of this turn. Okay, sure. Once per turn, when this card is targeted for an attack, you can inflict 500 damage to your opponent for each of their attack position monsters, and then end the battle phase. Well, I hope you have a way to get over this guy, because if you don't, you're going to have a problem. And then we have the Infernity Doomslinger. This is a level 1 Dark Fiend with 100 attack and 100 defense. Now, you can only use the first and second effects of this card's name once per turn, and then during your main phase, you can special summon a Fiend monster from your hand. If you have no cards in your hand, you can activate this effect. You can banish this card from your graveyard. Your opponent chooses one of these one of these effects for you to apply. So you reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a monster, your opponent takes any damage that you would take during this turn instead. Otherwise, you take 4,000 damage, so they're giving you a card. Or you take no effect damage this turn, which is kind of a little handy effect if you were trying to cheese out a little bit of a funny effect, which is kind of cool. And then we actually have the reprints here. So you will get 1 limit over special pack for the corresponding sets for purchasing products of the limiting overpack collection, the heroes, and so forth. So these are the cards that they have chosen to be within these packs, and I think that these are some of the nicest technology cards that they could have chosen. As you can see here, you know, the Dragoon looks good. The Super Poly, little bit interesting. The Dominus, I'm actually super excited to see here. Shooting Quasar is great. The Mirror Jade, I think, is one of the best looking ones. So they've done a great job with this. Now, the second image here, the Dragon Master Magia is amazing. The Red Nova is amazing. Chaos Angel just pops nicely. And honestly, I think the Impulse here is, I think, one of my favorites here. Like, it's really cool to see that this is how we're using the Overframe technology for these cards. You know, I thought the Link monsters were going to look kind of bad, but they've really kind of grown on me tonight. So, kind of excited for this. So, what do you guys think about all this cool new stuff? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. I'll see your beautiful faces back here. Patrons! Thank you! Ah!
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.